So feeling listened to is a very powerful emotion. And functional magnetic resonance imaging. So these wonderful machines that are now medics to sort of look inside the brain and see what's going on. fMRI scans actually show that when people are being listened to, they know they're being listened to. The parts of the brain associated with reward and with enjoyment are actually lit up compared to not being listened to. So we know the act of being listened to is important, and we find it pleasurable and an enjoyable experience. That's the first thing. And then there's this really interesting thing around listening. People tend to think of listening as being quite a passive exercise. And actually listening with real intent and attention has an effect on the speaker that not many people really understand. So if I listen to you really well, the reality is two things are going to happen. Well, firstly, you're going to feel good, but two other things are going to happen. The first thing is you will remember more things that are relevant to our conversation. So you will recall more relevant to the topic of our discussion, because you'll access parts of your memory that wouldn't otherwise be accessed. And the second thing that's going to happen is you'll actually disclose more. So you'll talk more about those things. So if we just put that in context, if I listen well to you, you have a much better chance of remembering relevant things and telling me those relevant things. And now if you just distill that and say, what's the holy grail of pretty much any conversation is, I really want to understand you, Chris. I want to understand what you think and what you feel and what you know and what your opinions might be, or else we wouldn't be having a conversation. And I've got this wonderful tool that enables you to be much better at telling me important things. And my tool is just to listen really, really well. It's very powerful, isn't it?
So I mean, that's hugely powerful. If you think about the role that most salespeople take, which is to convince a buyer and make themselves memorable and make themselves stand out against the competition. If that's an internal meeting where you're trying to secure budget for a project that you're working on, what you're basically saying here is that by going to a meeting with the intention of listening to the person that you're supposed to be talking to, let's use that as a misnomer for meetings. If you go in that with the intention of listening to them, you're actually going to make yourself stand out in their mind because of that conversation.